Hi everyone, it's Emily here. I am sitting in the car in the garden because it's the quietest place I can find at the moment. I've wanted to vlog for years. I haven't had time. Now I have time. So an idea that stuck with me for years was something that came up when we used to live in a crazy house in Dublin city centre years ago. And one of the housemates, Fran, had this idea called the Radical Openness Sessions. And I think maybe we had one of them in the basement once where the idea was to get everyone, we lived in, like, we had a full house with 9 apartments and there was loads of us living there. But to get everyone together and to sit down and talk openly, sit in a circle and talk openly. And any grievances or anything we wanted to process, or basically any thoughts we had, anything we wanted to talk about, but just open conversation for 1 hour each week. I think we started it on a Monday. Don't think even many people came, but I think a few did. The name always stuck with me and the idea always stuck with me because conversation and communication is so important. It's something that's very important to me, and I'm not putting myself down as the best communicator in the world, but it's something that I like to continually try to improve in my life. So I decided to call the vlog the Radical Openness Sessions, because who knows what might come up at what time, and it's just an excuse for me to talk for a while about what's on my mind, what I'm going through, or what I'd like to share with people, or what we could possibly process together, because I see other people doing it and I do see that it helps me when I watch other people's videos that are like this. So enough about that. The first thing I wanted to briefly speak about is and it's going to be different subject matter each time, so it's not always going to be as mushy as this, so bear with me. But the first thing, like diving straight in there, the first thing I want to speak about is emotions, because it's an intense time at the moment, and collectively we're all going through a very wide range of different emotions. Now, during this vlog, as time goes on, I'll be speaking about different books I've read over the years and different, like, say, YouTube channels that I listen to. One of them that probably a lot of you are already familiar with is Abraham. Abraham seems weird in the beginning because it's channeled. If you don't know what that means, it means that basically they say it's non-physical entity talking through someone that's actually a person. But at the same time, I take everything lightly. I've taken a lot from Abraham over the years. I found Abraham about 15 years ago, I'd say, the books. And there are certain points I don't agree with Abraham on. So, but just to get that clear. But what I do in life in general is take the good bits. So, anyway, the thing I want to talk about today is this emotional guidance scale from Abraham, because a lot of people are going through stuff right now and people forget that emotions are just emotions. People think that sometimes if you're stuck in frustration or you're stuck in one of the more negative type of emotions, that maybe there's no way out of it, or that, like, you know, sometimes when you're in something you think you're never going to be able to get out of it. But when you have something like this emotional guidance scale sitting in front of you, you can realize that not only do you have something very important someone said to me years ago is, Emily, you always have options. And that's what you realize when you look at the emotional guidance scale, is that you have options of other emotions. So instead of being stuck in, say, disappointment, you can go to a higher feeling emotion, even if it's only a few steps up the ladder. So let me just explain what the emotional guidance system is. Like, they basically just wrote a big list of emotions in declining order. So it starts with joy, appreciation, empowerment, freedom, love, being on number 1. Now, people can add other stuff into this too. Second is passion. Third is enthusiasm, eagerness, happiness. I have them written in front of me. I'm not just remembering them all off by heart. Positivity, expectation, belief. Number 5, optimism. 6, hopefulness, contentment, boredom. And then it goes into the middle range where, like, say from 7, the middle range to 15 maybe might be considered like midway type emotions. I'll read those in a minute. And maybe I should just explain why I'm reading them to you, because sometimes when you're going through something, you can't put your finger on what it is. It can be very helpful to just look at this scale and say, to put a word on something, to say, oh, this is what I'm feeling right now. This is all part of being, number 1, being aware of what we're doing, and then taking responsibility and being able to purposely pull ourselves out of something if we're not liking what's going on, or even if we are liking what's going on but we want to still improve it. You know, we can identify, oh, I'm in contentment right now, but I want to make it into hopefulness, or I want to make it into enthusiasm. So as the scale goes on down, it goes into the worst feeling thoughts or whatever. One thing that inspired me to do this, I've talked to a couple of guys in the last couple of weeks, and I've been talking to them about this scale as well, and I'll read down now in a minute the rest of the feelings or emotions on the scale, but on the very last one is fear, grief, depression, despair, powerlessness. And what struck me and what sort of inspired me to do this talk as well is that a couple of the guys, in fact all the ones that I spoke to this week, all pointed out powerlessness as the emotion that they were feeling when they really looked at the scale and tried to figure out what feeling it was they were feeling. And just even the repetitive messaging that, like a couple of guys picking out the same thing individually of each other, struck me as interesting at the least. And powerlessness is the last one on the scale, and at the very top of the scale in number 1 is the word empowered. So like powerlessness is the complete opposite feeling of feeling empowered. I'm just going to read quickly. I don't want to go on too long. I'm going to read quickly through the rest of the emotions to give you an idea of what's here. This emotional guidance scale is available online. You can just Google it or whatever and put in Abraham Hicks or Esther Hicks emotional guidance scale. It's from the book Asking It Is Given by Esther and Jerry Hicks, I think. As I said, I got that book about 15 years ago when it was first published, and there's also like 21 or something techniques at the back of it where you can learn to raise your vibration if you're feeling a bit down. You can, just techniques you can do to bring yourself back up and feel better. So I think we were at like 7 or 8. 7's contentment, boredom, pessimism, frustration, irritation, impatience, overwhelm, disappointment, doubt, worry, blame, anger. Blame, discouragement, anger. Revenge, hatred or rage, jealousy, insecurity, guilt, unworthiness, fear, grief, depression, despair, powerlessness. So they're a lot of words and they're a lot of emotions, and they're all individual emotions. And I think sometimes we just think that I'm feeling crap today. We don't go like I'm feeling crap because, or like sometimes the things these days that make you feel crap are so subtle that you just can't put your finger on it, and then there's no way out of it in a way, like, or you feel there's no way out of it, or you just have to wait till it passes. But the reason I'm doing this video as well is to let you know that you can pull yourself out of it. Some of the things suggested in this book say that, like, if you can identify that you're at powerlessness number 22, or anger number 17, or even discouragement number 16, instead of trying to jump right up to joy, appreciation, freedom, love, which is difficult in one jump, you can go to the emotional guidance scale and pick something like, say, 2 steps up the list. So if you're in worry, if you look at some other emotions that are a bit higher up the list, worry is number 14, frustration there is number 10. So what I would do is like even if you pick a higher vibration thought, which is a bit better, and ask yourself, are there ways I can get to that thought? So like even that alone can inspire some like ideas in you of how to pull yourself up a few steps out of it. And then when you're there at frustration, then maybe you can bring yourself up to contentment. So it doesn't have to be one big step, but the important part is, number one, realizing that you can do something about it, and number two, the most important thing I think in all of this is realizing that it's just emotions. Like your emotion is not your soul, your emotion is not your character, your emotion is not your personality. It's just an emotion, and you technically are in control of your emotions, or you can learn to be. So this is just a small thing that I found very helpful myself over the years. I don't actually use it that much, but I was just recommending it to someone recently, and I just realized the importance that it might have for other people at the moment, which is why I wanted to share it. So yeah, I might just leave it at that for now. That's, I think, a good start to vlogging. As I say, it's not always going to be that heavy of a subject matter, but with me it probably will be, because I don't really do small talk. I just go straight for the deep conversations. I hope maybe that might help someone in some way, or someone might get something from it. And I'm looking forward to processing things alongside some of yous in the future, and just being able to have a chat with yous, because sometimes it can be tiresome to contact everybody individually, but with these little video chats, it's a good way for me to check in on everyone and have a little bit of a buzz and a talk, without having to do too much work. So best of luck, and thanks for listening in, and please let me know if this was interesting for you, or if there's anything else you'd like to talk about. Okay, thanks and bye. Have a good day.